Can anything truly stop Donald Trump? Well, apparently not. There's, according to a new CBS New York Times poll, Donald Trump recently has now surged to 35% in a recent survey released today. Now, let me give you some information on this poll first. That's kind of important. Most of the poll was actually conducted before Trump announced his proposal to ban Muslims coming in from the United States. So, most likely, you're going to see, as I'm going to detail through this article, how I'm pretty sure after this, his support's going to go up. Oh, almost guaranteed. Now, I say that because there are other polls that show that most Republicans on the issue of blocking all Muslims from coming into the United States, even on a temporary basis, are enthusiastically supporting this plan. And this comes from a survey by Rasmussen that found that 46% of likely voters would favor policy preventing Muslim immigrants from entering the country until tighter screening procedures can be implemented, right? Now, 40% would oppose such a measure. Now, among likely Republican voters, 66% would support the ban, 24% would oppose it. Now, those who are independents, no party affiliation, said that they would support a ban by a 45 to 39% margin. Now, there's another Bloomberg poll that was also released on Wednesday found that while a majority of Republicans would also support the temporary ban, likely voters overall would oppose it by a 37 to 50 margin. Now, why the discrepancy, right? Well, you've got a Bloomberg poll, then you've got a more right-leaning Rasmussen poll. But it also comes down to what question they actually asked. Now, questions are very important, how they phrased it. Now, Rasmussen asked, do you favor or oppose a temporary ban on all Muslims entering the United States until the federal government improves its ability to screen out potential terrorists from coming here? So that's the Rasmussen question. Now, hearing that question, it sounds a little bit more reasonable. It's still wrong, but slightly more reasonable than what Bloomberg had asked. Bloomberg asked, this week Donald Trump called for a temporary ban on all Muslims who are citizens of foreign countries from entering the United States. Do you favor or oppose? So that sort of explains the whole discrepancy. Remember, questions matter. The policy's still wrong, but the details do matter when it comes to asking these questions. So, now back to the CBS New York Times poll for a second here. Now, Trump actually increased his lead in the poll since October. Now, you also have Ted Cruz. It's in second place. Now, Ted Cruz is very interesting, right? Because Ted Cruz, he's a lot like Trump. And he's sort of been living in Trump's shadow. All right, just saying, oh, yes, Trump. Oh, yes, I support you, Trump. I support your plan. In fact, I have a plan just like this. And he refuses to actually call out Trump on this specific plan, like a lot of Republicans have. I mean, you had Lindsey Graham, and you had Paul Ryan out there saying, like, no, this is bullshit. This is not what we believe. This is not our values. Ted Cruz just stays, yeah, good job, Trump. Good job. Yeah, I got no problem with that policy. I'm not going to say anything. Because he's just like Trump. He believes in the same things as Trump. Ironic coming from an immigrant. Oh, but that's right. He was a Cuban immigrant. Or his dad was. He actually came from Canada. But anyway. Cruz is like Trump, except that he's not a loud blowhard like Trump. He's much less blowhardy, if that's even a word. But make no mistake, Ted Cruz is just as dangerous as Trump, and what he's trying to do is if Trump, falls or gets out of the race or whatever, Cruz wants to pick up Trump supporters. It's not as likely to happen, though, as he would want to do, because most Trump voters, according to this poll, said that they're not looking for an alternative. Their minds are made up, especially compared to the about a quarter of voters who are actually supporting someone else. Their minds aren't exactly made up, but they are supporting someone else. Whether it be Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz, as I had said, or some of the others. They haven't really made up their minds. But Trump, he's got these people locked in. They're not going anywhere. In fact, 68% of his supporters would follow Donald Trump, as I reported on a poll the other day. They would follow him if he ran on a third-party ticket. All of this stuff, all of these results, are a disaster for America. An absolute disaster. And it all just kind of shows that when it comes down to it, I don't think you can stop this maniac. And he's going to take the Republican Party with him.